Right now, sitting there in your chair, you believe your thoughts are happening inside your skull. You've been conditioned to think that your mind is this private, isolated control center tucked away between your ears, processing the world like some biological computer. But what if I told you that everything you believe about the nature of your mind, your consciousness, your very identity is not just wrong, it's dangerously limiting? What if your mind isn't confined to your brain at all, but is actually part of something far more extraordinary, far more powerful than you've ever been taught to imagine? The truth is, you're not who you think you are. And when you discover what you really are, everything changes. For over a century, quantum physicists have been uncovering a reality that most people still refuse to accept. They've proven that at the fundamental level of existence, particles don't exist in fixed locations until they're observed. They exist in what's called superposition, simultaneously existing in multiple states, multiple possibilities, until consciousness collapses them into a single experience. But here's what they don't teach you in school. This isn't just happening at the microscopic level. This is happening with your entire reality right now as you listen to these words. Your consciousness isn't a byproduct of brain chemistry. It's not neurons firing in patterns inside your head. Your consciousness is a fundamental force of the universe itself, inseparably woven into the fabric of quantum reality. And just as those particles exist in superposition until observed, multiple versions of your life, multiple timelines, multiple possible futures exist right now in quantum superposition, waiting for your consciousness to select which one becomes your experienced reality. Think about the implications of this. It means that the version of you who is completely fulfilled, deeply loved, financially abundant, spiritually awakened isn't some distant dream. That version exists right now as a quantum possibility. The question isn't whether that reality is available to you. The question is whether you know how to tune into it. Most people walk through life completely unconscious of this process. They believe they're passive observers of a predetermined world, never realizing that their consciousness is actively selecting which possibilities collapse into their experience. They think reality happens to them, never understanding that reality is responding to them, moment by moment, through the quantum field of consciousness itself. And here's the part that will fundamentally change how you see yourself and your life. Your brain, that 3-pound organ in your skull, isn't creating your thoughts and experiences, it's receiving them. Like a sophisticated radio tuner, your brain is constantly scanning the quantum field of consciousness, picking up signals, frequencies, information streams that exist beyond the physical boundaries of your body. What you call your thoughts, your intuitions, your sudden insights, these aren't generated by neural activity. They're transmissions from the quantum field that your brain is decoding and translating into conscious experience. This is why identical twins separated at birth often live eerily similar lives. It's why you can walk into a room and immediately sense the energy, the mood, the emotional undertones without anyone saying a word. It's why you sometimes know who's calling before you answer the phone, why you think of someone moments before they text you, why you can feel when someone is looking at you from across a crowded room. Your consciousness isn't local. It's not contained. It's quantum, non-local, instantaneously connected to all other consciousness through what physicists call quantum entanglement. But most revolutionary of all, your consciousness doesn't just receive information from the quantum field. It broadcasts into it. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every belief you hold is a signal transmitted into the field, influencing which possibilities collapse into your experienced reality. You're not just observing your life, you're creating it moment by moment through the quantum mechanics of consciousness itself. Scientists have discovered that when you observe a quantum system, you fundamentally change it. This is called the observer effect, and it proves that consciousness and physical reality are not separate phenomena. They're different aspects of the same unified field. Your consciousness is literally shaping reality at the quantum level, determining which of the infinite possibilities available in the field become your actual experience. And here's what's absolutely mind-bending about this. Time, as you experience it, is an illusion created by your brain to make sense of quantum reality. In the quantum field, all possibilities exist simultaneously. Past, present, and future are all equally real, all equally accessible to consciousness. The version of you from your past, the version of you in this moment, and all possible future versions of you exist right now in the quantum superposition. Your brain creates the illusion of linear time by selecting one possibility after another in sequence, like frames in a movie, creating the experience of a continuous timeline. But consciousness can access any frame, any possibility, any timeline. This is why meditation, dreams, and altered states of consciousness can give you access to information about the future, insights about the past, or connection to versions of yourself that exist in parallel timelines. Your consciousness isn't bound by the linear time that your brain constructs. It's quantum, non-local, capable of accessing any point in the infinite web of possibilities. This completely reframes everything you think you know about personal transformation, about manifestation, about the power to change your life. You're not trying to create something new. You're learning to tune into versions of yourself, versions of your life that already exist in quantum superposition. The abundant version of you, the healed version of you, the fulfilled version of you isn't something you need to become. It's something you need to remember how to access. Every moment, your consciousness is scanning the infinite possibilities available in the quantum field and selecting which ones to collapse into your experience. But for most people, this process is unconscious, automatic, based on habitual patterns, limiting beliefs, and conditioned responses. They keep selecting the same types of experiences, the same patterns, the same limitations, because their consciousness is operating on autopilot, unconsciously choosing familiar frequencies over new possibilities. Your subconscious mind, which controls approximately 95% of your mental activity, is like a quantum frequency selector. It's constantly broadcasting signals into the field based on your deepest beliefs, your emotional patterns, your unconscious programming. And the field responds with mathematical precision, collapsing possibilities that match those signals into your experienced reality. This is why people who expect to be disappointed usually are. Why those who believe they're unlucky seem to attract misfortune. Why individuals who see themselves as victims keep encountering situations that reinforce that identity. Their consciousness is unconsciously selecting and collapsing quantum possibilities that match their internal frequency, creating a self-fulfilling prophecy at the quantum level. But once you understand this process, everything changes. You realize that you're not trapped by your circumstances, your past, or your current limitations. You're simply tuned into frequencies that correspond to those experiences. And frequencies can be changed. Your consciousness can be retrained. Your quantum signal can be consciously directed toward the possibilities you actually want to experience. The ancient spiritual traditions understood this truth, though they expressed it in different language. They taught that reality is Maya, illusion, that the world you perceive is a projection of consciousness. They knew that by changing your internal state, you could literally change your external experience. They understood that consciousness is the fundamental creative force of the universe, and that by aligning with higher frequencies, you could access higher realities. Modern neuroscience is now confirming what the mystics have always known. Your brain is not creating your reality. It's interpreting signals from the quantum field and constructing a subjective experience based on those signals. Change the signals, and you change the experience. Shift your consciousness to a different frequency, and you access a different set of quantum possibilities. This is why visualization works, why meditation is so powerful, why belief is literally creative. When you vividly imagine a different reality, when you feel emotions associated with desired outcomes, when you believe in possibilities beyond your current circumstances, you're not engaging in wishful thinking. You're consciously directing your quantum frequency toward specific possibilities in the field, increasing the probability that those possibilities will collapse into your experienced reality. But here's the crucial part that most people miss. This isn't about positive thinking or surface-level affirmations. The quantum field responds to your authentic frequency, your genuine internal state, not to what you pretend to believe or what you think you should feel. If you're trying to manifest abundance while carrying deep beliefs about scarcity, if you're visualizing love while feeling fundamentally unworthy, if you're affirming success while secretly expecting failure, your signals are contradictory. The field doesn't know which frequency to respond to, so it typically defaults to whatever signal is strongest, which is usually your unconscious programming. Real quantum transformation requires what I call frequency coherence. Every level of your being, conscious and unconscious, mental and emotional, must be aligned with the reality you want to access. This means identifying and transforming the unconscious beliefs that contradict your conscious desires. It means clearing emotional blocks that keep you vibrating at frequencies incompatible with your goals. It means rewiring your nervous system to become comfortable with the energy signature of the reality you want to experience. This is deep work, but it's absolutely possible. Your consciousness is infinitely malleable, endlessly creative, capable of accessing any frequency, any possibility that exists in the quantum field. You can literally reprogram your internal frequency selector to automatically tune into realities that align with your highest vision for your life. And when you do this, when you achieve genuine frequency coherence, something magical happens. Synchronicities begin appearing in your life. Opportunities arise from unexpected directions. People who can help you achieve your goals seem to materialize out of nowhere. Resources you need become available exactly when you need them. It's not luck or coincidence. It's your consciousness, operating at a coherent frequency, naturally attracting and collapsing quantum possibilities that match that frequency. You begin to understand that what you've been calling miracles are simply natural expressions of consciousness operating in alignment with quantum principles. When your internal frequency matches the frequency of desired outcomes, those outcomes don't just become possible, they become inevitable. The field has no choice but to respond to your authentic signal. This transforms not just what you experience, but who you understand yourself to be. You're not a separate, isolated individual struggling against external forces beyond your control. You're a unique expression of universal consciousness, intimately connected to all possibilities, endlessly creative, fundamentally free. Your thoughts are not private events happening in your head. They're broadcasts into the quantum field, signals that shape reality itself. Your emotions are not just personal experiences, they're energetic transmissions that influence the field and determine which possibilities collapse into your experience. Your beliefs are not just opinions about reality, they're creative forces that literally structure which version of reality you access. When you truly grasp this, when you embody this understanding at the cellular level, you stop being a victim of circumstances and become a conscious creator of experiences. You stop waiting for the world to change and start changing your frequency to access the world you prefer. You stop asking why certain things happen to you and start asking what frequency you need to embody to experience what you truly desire. This is the quantum revolution in consciousness. The recognition that you are not separate from the field of infinite possibility, but an active participant in it. That your consciousness is not a passive observer of reality, but a creative force that shapes reality through the simple act of observation, attention, and frequency alignment. And the most beautiful part is that this isn't theoretical knowledge. It's practical, applicable, immediately available to you right now. Every moment offers you the opportunity to consciously choose which frequency to embody, which possibilities to focus on, which version of yourself to be. The quantum field is always responding, always ready to collapse new possibilities into your experience based on the signals you're broadcasting. So the question isn't whether you have this power, you've always had it. You've been using it unconsciously your entire life, creating experiences that match your unconscious programming. The question is whether you're ready to use it consciously, deliberately, to access the versions of reality that align with your highest vision for your life. The quantum you, the version of yourself that exists beyond the limitations of your current circumstances. Beyond the conditioning of your past, beyond even the boundaries of linear time, is waiting for you to remember who you really are. Not a small, separate self struggling in isolation, but a magnificent expression of infinite consciousness, capable of accessing any possibility, any timeline, any reality that exists in the quantum field. You are far more powerful, far more creative, far more unlimited than you've ever been taught to believe. And now that you know the truth about the quantum nature of your mind, the question is simple. What reality will you choose to access next? The field is listening. The possibilities are infinite, and your consciousness is the key to unlocking whichever version of reality you're brave enough to embody. The quantum you awaits your decision. What will it be?